Honourable members, it is 8:30. We will now start. Good morning, honourable members, and welcome to our programming committee. You have received the agenda as well as the relevant documents. And I will first start by asking for any apologies to be noted. Honourable Dagmore.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The apology of Chief Whip Mdumiseni Mtuli. He will be arriving late. Apologizes.
Thank you. Mr. Mkitama.
Thank you, Chair. We have two apologies. Mr. Reddy, he's not feeling well. He's going to see a doctor, and also our Chief Whip, Mr. Manyi.
Thank you. Noted. Honourable Mkalipi.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The apologies for our Chief Whip and Komisan Tlangwini.
Thank you. That is noted. Honourable, or rather, Mr. Tkasu.
Deputy Speaker, the apology of the Speaker of the NA, Honourable Tlakude, Honourable Souls, Peterson, Honourable Nontenja, Honourable Kwangwa, and I'm not sure if Mr. Tlangwini was mentioned, but Honourable
Yes.
Tlangwini also, we got the apology. Sorry.
Thank you very much. We are a bit thin on the ground today, but we will proceed. So we proceed with the next point on the agenda, that is the consideration of the agenda. Could I have a proposer that we accept the agenda? Honourable Dugmore, seconded to Honourable Frolick. And then we continue with reports. Honourable Mkalipi.
Deputy Speaker, we have raised this issue of considering the minutes after the committee section and bills office, because it does not seems to have logic in terms of how to deal with the meeting. So the culture is that you start with the meeting, the minutes of the last previous meeting, and matters arising. Then you start with your program. But this one, we raised it before to say, let us rework this type of an agenda in order to have a flow of issues in terms of sharing the meeting. I don't know why it was not considered. Maybe it was discussed when I was not present in the meeting. Can I get that clarity, Chair?
Thank you, Honourable Mkalipi. If I refer you to page 2 of the minutes, the last paragraph, there it is recorded that the Speaker said that she will look into the matter, as you noted that the Speaker is not here. So we can also request her to give some feedback, because she said that she will have a discussion with different structures, and that one of the reasons that the minutes or the agenda was amended in its current form is because of all the matters that were raised during matters arising, and that the main business, as per the rules of the NA, namely the programming, basically then was the last item, and we seldom got to it. So I will request that that is reported back to this committee by the Speaker at the next opportunity. Thank you. Then we proceed with the reports and the committee section.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Deputy Speaker, and good morning to members and colleagues. I'm presenting the report on behalf of the committee section this morning. If we can start with slide number 2. Okay, slide number 2. We report that we have 18 bills before NA committees at the moment. We also have a resolution, NA resolution in terms of section 24(1)(a) of the Political Funding Act. And we also have 15 petitions that are before committees at this stage. Slide number 4. We have a new bill before the PC on COGTA, that is the Local Government Municipal Structures Amendment Bill, which was actually referred to the committee on the 26th I'm not sure if I'm echoing or what. It's too close to me. Can you hear me? Okay. That bill was referred on the 26th of February. I just want to say that it is an error that I wrote March 2025. That bill is before the PC on Cochrane, and the committee is still to schedule that particular bill. Slide number 6 is the Tobacco Products and Electronic Delivery Systems Control Bill before the PC on Health. And we are reporting that the committee will look at oral submissions on the 5th, which was yesterday, the 12th and the 19th of March. Slide number 7 is the Marriage Bill before the PC on Home Affairs. And the committee is planning to have public hearings in the Eastern Cape on the 24th to the 26th of March and the 1st to the 3rd of April. Slide number 8, that is the Immigration Amendment Bill before PC Home Affairs. And we just want to note that the committee is actually awaiting legal inputs on it, and that will be done on the 11th of March. Slide number 10. Is it slide number 9? Slide number 9, sorry, Deputy Speaker. It is the Electoral Commission bill before the PC on Home Affairs. The committee is still planning to actually have the proposal of the bill to present to the committees in March still, meaning that they will change their program and alert the person who actually introduced that bill. Slide number 10. Slide number 10, before PC on Home Affairs, is the One-Stop Border Post bill. And that bill has been advertised since December, the 6th of December 2024, and the closing date was on the 28th of February. And the committee is planning to have public hearings in Parliament. The next slide is slide number 11. Slide number 11 is the Protection of State Information Bill before the PC on Justice. And the committee is still awaiting the legal opinion from legal services with regards to that particular bill. And then slide number 12 is a bill before PC on Justice. It is actually a new bill. That is the Constitution 19th Amendment Bill, which was referred also on the 26th of February. It is an error that I noted earlier as well. The committee will actually schedule to process that particular bill. And then we move to slide number 16, which is the Merchant Shipping Bill before PC on Transport. They're going to have public hearings on the 7th of March 2025 and receive departmental responses on the 25th of March, and then they will reschedule afterwards. Slide number 18. Slide number 18 is the Public Service Commission Bill. That was before PC on Public Service and Administration. We are reporting that the bill was finalized on the 5th of March 2025. The next slide is slide number 19. Slide number 19 is the National State Enterprises Bill before PC on Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation. They have actually changed their program, and they're going to have public hearings on the 25th to the 28th of March. And also they're going to look at responses on the public hearings by the department on the 25th of April, and they have the committee deliberations provisionally set for the 14th of May to the 5th of June 2025. The intention is to actually finalize this bill on the 11th of June 2025. The next slide is slide number 24. Slide number 24 relates to the NA resolution in terms of section 24A, 24(1)A of the Political Funding Act, which is before the PC on Home Affairs. The committee will have its deliberations on the 11th of March and thereafter considering the finalization of that particular bill. And then the next slide is slide number 30 with regards to statutory appointment relating to NYDA before the PC on women, children and persons with disabilities. They have actually changed their program and they have the interviews on the 25th to the 27th of February. And on the 4th of March, they had their scoring and deliberations, and they intend to adopt its committee report on the 11th of March. Slide number 31, before the same committee, that is the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide, appointments that the committee needs to do. On the 1st of April, the committee will actually meet and deal with that. And then on the 11th of March, they're going to receive a presentation on the draft advert for the establishment of this, of the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide, that by the committee secretary and the content advisor. The next slide is slide number 34. Slide number 34 relates to a petition before the PC on social development, and that is the petition from Mr. Isaac calling on the Assembly to investigate the possible increase of social grants to pensioners. And the committee was actually briefed by the petitioner on the 5th of March 2025. The next slide is slide number 36. Slide number 36, it's a petition before police with regards to PPS Stop Farm Killings and Agri Alert SA, calling on the National Assembly to investigate attacks on farming communities. And the petitioner will be briefing the committee on the 19th of March, and on the same day, they will have the responses from the department. The last slide is slide number 39. Slide number 39, it is for this committee to note that there is a new petition from Mr. I think Craython, calling on the Assembly to investigate governance at Alex Core Society. And this is a new petition that has been referred to the committee, and the committee still need to schedule it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Twalu. Any questions at this point, members, that you would like to pose to Honourable Dr. Twalu? Not, thank you. We can then proceed with the next presentation.
Good morning, Honourable Deputy Speaker, honourable members and colleagues. On our report, we will start reporting from slide number 3. Slide number 3, we are indicating the two bills that Dr. Twalu has already reported on. They were recently introduced on the 26th of February and also referred. These two bills are private members' bills. The next reporting slide will be slide number 5. Thank you. On slide number 5, we're indicating the Public Service Commission bill, which the committee reported on yesterday, and it was referred to the House, which is now before the NA order paper for consideration. The next reporting slide, Honourable Deputy Speaker, it's slide number 6. On slide number 6, we're reporting on the draft bills that are before Parliament. The Judicial Matters Amendment Bill has been certified by the Office of the Chief State Law Advisors, and the Bill's Office is working on the bill, and it might be introduced as soon as possible. The next reporting slide is slide number 10. Sorry, on slide number 10, our apologies, Deputy Speaker, I think this, go down to slide number 10, please. Yeah, thank you. There we go. On slide number 10, I don't know why it's not showing because yes, it's that one. On slide number 10, Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are reporting on the 2025 legislative program. And we've indicated that the cabinet approved legislative program for 2025 include 60 bills that we are supposed to deal with. And the list has got 10 priority bills, 9 mandatory money bills, and 1 bill that has a constitutional court deadline. And the total number of these bills, it's 60. With your permission, Honorable Deputy Speaker, can I hand over to Advocate van den Merwe to give a report on constitutional court judgments? Thank you.
Thank you. Please do, Advocate van der Merwe.
Thank you, and good morning to the members. On the next slide, yes. So there's a new matter where there will be a gap in the law. It was the judgment in the matter of O'Brien versus Minister of Defence. It affects 2 acts, the Military Discipline Supplementary Measures Act and the Defence Act. It deals with the appointment and renewal of military judges as well as investigations into their work. And the suspension of the order lapses in December 2026. We have done a written opinion to the chairperson, and we have also sent off a letter to the department to alert them to the judgment and to confirm where their progress is. I noted this morning that the letter was sent off via the Office of the Leader of Government Business to the Department of Defence. Progress. I also just want to add that this presentation only focuses on matters where there will be a gap in the law. Our report was circulated with this presentation, and it also speaks to other matters. So specifically in respect of matters where there will be a gap in the law, where there has been some progress on the Divorce Act, we have followed up with the department as they indicated that the target for introduction was November 2024, but no bill was forthcoming. As well, we followed up with them in January, and I also noticed this morning that the next follow-up letter went off to the department via the Office of the Leader of Government Business yesterday afternoon. The next slide, please. The next matter is that of the Mohali versus Speaker. It deals with the Traditional and Khoisan Leadership Act. This one, the department was planning to introduce last year, but because the bill affects Section 154 of the Constitution, they need to do further consultations at local government level. And when we followed up with them in January, the minister responded to say that there's an extension in respect of the public participation. But the department indicated to us that they will be asking an extension from the court. And we've been just following up with them to understand what is the status of this application. And again, the next follow-up letter went off, I noticed this morning, via the Office of Leader Government Business. It was sent to the department yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, Advocate van der Merwe. Honourable members, any questions, comments regarding this? Honourable Swart.
Chair, I think in this 7th Parliament, we need to re-look at the issues of Constitutional Court deadlines. It was an issue which was canvassed in the previous Parliament, but there's obviously a serious problem. And that is where orders are lapsing, where suspensions of those orders is also being allowed to lapse, with very severe consequences. I raised this in Parliament, and I'm sure members are aware of the RICA Amendment Bill, which lapsed with very serious consequences. It's referred to paragraph C, page 7, and I see there are others that are about to lapse. The legal advisors bring this to our attention continually, and where a number of years was given, 3 years was given. In August of 2023, an amendment bill was rushed to Parliament. We rushed it through, gave the presidency sufficient time, in our view, to consider it, but it lapsed there with a severe consequence, with the presidency now going to the Constitutional Court and citing the Speaker to try to get an urgent order. So we need to attend to this. The mechanism is not sufficient at the moment. And I commend the legal services because they, again, highlighting there's an issue now of bills about to lapse 29 May, suspension of order. gaps in the law that will result in that. So I think we need to really introduce greater mechanisms and escalate, because it doesn't seem to help where the legal services are writing to departments and they are saying we're attending to it. We as Parliament are then waiting for these bills and have to rush it through. And maybe it's sometimes unfair to expect the presidency to quickly sign it when there is a very short space. So this I want to really emphasize. It is significant challenges that are being resulted in this. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Swart. I think this is an extremely important point, and we, as Parliament, cannot be at the mercy of departments. And what I would propose is that I have a discussion with the Speaker, and that she has a discussion with the Leader of Government Business, and that it be taken to Cabinet, where the departments, the leaders of those departments can, in fact, be addressed on this, because it is, as you say, quite an untenable position. I fully agree with that. So, Mr. Kasu, if we can just make a note of that. Thank you. Any other comments? None. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Twalu, Dr. Mbata and Advocate van der Merwe. We then proceed with the agenda, and we now go to the parliamentary program. Honourable Dugmore.
Much, Chairperson. In the package, I just want to check through you, Chair. You will see that in regard to the program, there's one which says first term and there's another one which says second term. So I think it's just a question of taking the meeting through the program and then hopefully getting endorsement here. There was some discussions at previous meetings this week, the Chief Whip's Forum, few issues raised, and what we have here is to be presented for discussion and adoption. If I can, I think all of us are aware, and I'm not going to take a lot of time, but all of us are aware in terms of today, the debate on the urgent matter of public importance moved by Honourable Malema, again, consideration of reports coming from our portfolio committees. And I just want to make the point that I think processing and discussing these reports is valuable, because it gives attention to what's being discussed in our committees. Friday, the 7th of March, we have the mini plenaries, and you will see there that all of the topics are confirmed for the mini plenaries, which take place on Friday, as we know, virtually. Then just moving on to week 7, we on Tuesday, we will be having the President at the Dome answering questions. Wednesday, we're all aware by now that the budget speech will be made, and also introduction of the appropriation bill and the tabling of the division of revenue bill. Then on Thursday, we again have questions for oral reply, at this time Cluster 2, the social services, and an important debate on International Women's Day. And although we've scheduled the legislation and committees, haven't got concrete issues there. Then on Friday, we go again to mini plenaries. And just to say, although it's not really my task to say that, but obviously we're just waiting for the subject for discussions from both the DA and MK, but I'm sure that will be attended to soon. Then we go on to week 8, fairly standard Tuesday, the 18th of March. Just to mention there, that is a debate on Human Rights Day, in addition to the normal statements and motions, etc. Then on Wednesday, the 19th, questions for oral reply again, this time the governance cluster. And then Thursday, the 20th of March, you will note there that we don't have anything scheduled, Deputy Speaker, and that's the day before Human Rights Day itself, on Friday, the 21st of March. Then importantly, week 9 is committee stroke oversight. And as we all know, this means oversight visits, but it can also mean actual meetings of the committees. And that week 9 is set aside completely for that. And that was also reported to Mr. Honourable Frolik's meeting of the chairs yesterday. You will see there's a note there referring to an inception meeting of the Forum of Chairpersons of Committees that's going to be held from the 27th to the 28th of March, just for your noting. that is something that has been initiated by Parliament through the House Chair, as I understand it. Week 10, you would see there that we are dealing on the 1st of April with committees, and importantly, on Wednesday, the 2nd of April, would be the plenary where the fiscal framework and the revenue proposals would be discussed, arising from a report of the Standing Committee of Finance. Thursday, we've now programmed in, you will see it's in red because that was an outstanding one, questions for oral reply. This time, cluster 4, economics. As you know, we have 2 economic clusters and we hadn't covered that one. Then we get to the constituency period, which is an extended period from 7 to 17 April. And just as it applies that we don't organize plenaries during committee weeks, we also don't organize anything else during constituency period, unless, of course, there's a crisis and that is raised. So, Chair, that is the first term. I don't know if you want us to stop on that, or do you want me to just quickly do the second term?
Well, Dagmo, I think let's quickly deal with the first term because that is what we are now busy with. Any questions, comments, honourable members? Honourable Mkalipi.
Thanks very much, Deputy Speaker. I just want to get an assurance from this meeting. Would see the debate on the 12th of March is not going to be postponed. Like we adopted this program before, and we were so surprised when we enter into the dome, expecting the Minister of Finance to come and table the budget. And then there was a quick meeting called by the Speaker. Can you confirm here that thing is not going to repeat itself on the 12th of March, which is next week, Deputy Speaker?
I don't know if the question is whether Honourable Cameron can confirm and give the assurance, which I'm not quite sure, given that he is not the minister.
I think you know that I'm not a soothsayer that can predict the future. All I can do is put it on the program. That's all I can say.
I'm afraid, yes, Honourable Mkalipi, that that is not within the ambit of this committee. Honourable Frolick.
Well, good morning, colleagues, and thank you, Deputy Speaker. May I just indicate that the matter was strongly raised yesterday in the Committee of Chairpersons around the postponement of the budget and the tabling thereof, and the Speaker addressed the chairperson on the matters and indicated quite clearly that the budget will be tabled and Parliament have certain mechanisms in place to deal with such eventualities.
Yes, thank you very much, Honourable Frolick. So that was then discussed yesterday at the committee with chairpersons, and we take that then as the status. Mr. Kasu.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Just on 2 issues. On Wednesday, the 12th, there will be a political working group meeting on the strategy of Parliament. The time is 10 o'clock until 11:30 in the place of the Chief Whips Forum. So that was discussed in the Chief Whips Forum yesterday. And also in respect of Thursday, the 13th, there is a request that the debate precede the question session. This is to accommodate 2 ministers who will be in the NCOP answering questions, ministers belonging to cluster 2. So we started at 2 o'clock with a debate, and then we take questions on cluster or questions, that relate to cluster 2. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Dagmore. You have that the program is then slightly adjusted on
Yes,
specifically Thursday.
It's just to say that as indicated by Mr. Paso, coming out of the Chief Whips Forum and the chairs of committees, there will not be a Chief Whips Forum on Wednesday because of the meeting that Mr. Paso, the political committee, I think colleagues know, remember we've all been involved in that process of the strategy for Parliament. And that's moving towards a conclusion. And the key thing there, which I think we just convey, is that political parties need to actually come there, having gone through the draft and make proposals as parties so that we can get to a point. So, and then the other issue about giving precedence to the debate, I think that's supported. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Any other questions, comments on the program for the first term? We then proceed, Honourable Dugmore, with the second term.
Okay, this will go very quickly. You would see there in week 13, after Easter Monday, it's again the committees and oversight. And then on Thursday, members need to note there is actually obviously a programming committee, but then these important plenaries, which have now been adjusted in terms of the budget cycle. One on dealing with that report from that committee on the division on revenue bill, and also the second reading debate. So that's a full plenary on the 24th of April. Then members would be pleased to know, if they didn't know already, that week 14 is essentially a leave period, not a constituency period, not a committee period, an actual leave period. A leave period after Freedom Day. It's actually including from the 28th of April, which is a Monday, right through to that weekend. And then obviously Constituency Day is again on Monday, the 5th of May. So that's a leave period. Then in week 15, you would see that we're back there on Tuesday, the 6th of May, a plenary. Wednesday, the 7th of May, we then deal with the other economic cluster for questions for oral reply. Thursday, the 8th of May, we have the confirmed as of yesterday for members to note, the Deputy President will be in the National Assembly answering questions. To also thank the Parliamentary Council for helping us to secure that date. And then we also have on the same day, the Workers' Day debate. That's at the moment scheduled for the same day as the Deputy President's replies. And once again, Friday, 9 May, we have the mini plenaries, although there's not much pressure now, but please note the parties there that must submit their subjects for discussion, the EFF, IFP, ANC, and ACDP. Week 16, we then get into, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I think we all know the way that the budget is dealt with is in the committees and in the Finance Committee, and then it actually comes for a formal mini plenary debate. And you will see there on Tuesday, the 13th of May, that process commences 10 to 12 in the morning. You have a number of debates there on vote 18, 29, etc., etc. Then again in the afternoon, just Deputy Speaker, just to say, one of the, I think it was Member Swart raised the issue yesterday that, you know, given that you're having a couple of debates in the morning, that the smaller parties sometimes have a challenge. I think what was discussed there, and I just want to mention it, is that I think there would be flexibility. Mr. Froelich and others said so. So in other words, if Mr. Swart, for example, is rushing from one debate to the other, you know, they might agree that you can speak first and then go, etc. So it is a challenge, but I think we just need to have flexibility so that members can participate. But obviously, as someone said, the best solution is to do better in the next election and get more seats, you know. And then that was a joke. It was just a joke. We're also going to do better because we also need more seats, yeah. And then you'll see there you have all these mini plenaries. Chair, I'm not going to go into all of those. And Friday the 16th, we have those mini plenaries are basically about the budgets. Week 17 continued. I'm not going to read them all out. Those are the debates. Colleagues need to check those. And then bringing us right through to the 21st of May, more mini plenaries, morning and afternoon. And then we basically takes us right through to the 23rd of May. And then we then sort of start getting back into week 18 for plenaries. You would see there that we have a debate on Africa Day on Tuesday, the 27th of May. We have questions for oral reply on the 28th of May. Once again, back to peace and security, which we had yesterday. 29th of May, another plenary. And then as an important vote is Parliament's vote on that day. and then we consider all those reports and the budget votes, no debates on that. Week 19, plenary, going back to statements and motions with and without notice. 4th of June, we then have the plenary, which is going to be a debate on vote 1, which is the presidency. Just that's the last of the budget votes, and that debate actually goes over 2 days, as you will see there, because it's also discussed in the plenary on the 5th of June. Friday, the 6th of June is clear. You can see that. Then importantly for noting, the 10th of June, that's when we get into the actual first reading debate on the appropriation bill and a consideration of every vote and schedule. So as we all know, that's a long process, and we work through all the votes, and then we have the second reading. A Youth Day debate on Wednesday, the 11th of June, and also we consider reports from some of the mini plenaries. And there's a youth parliament, although there isn't yet exact clarity. This stretches over 2 days, and more information, I'm sure, will be provided by the Speaker's office as we get closer to that. Week 21, nothing really exceptional, just the 18th of June, oral reply again. And then the 19th of June, plenary. Then we get to week 22, which is again committees and oversight. And then just for members to note, and this is the correct date here, the constituency period then starts 30th of June, goes all the way through to the 4th of August. So that's a long period where members can get stuck into their constituency week. And that brings us, Deputy Speaker, to the end of the second term. Thanks.
Thank you, Honourable Dugmore. Any comments? This is for noting at this particular point because it's only for next term. Honourable Swart.
Chair, firstly, I appreciate the flexibility when it comes to the mini budget votes. I really welcome that, and I welcome the fact that the suggestion in the Chief Whips that we don't use S12A, but we use the dome has now been incorporated, and that was suggested yesterday. But I do think it's also worth commending all those from Parliament, from Public Works for the dome. Yes, there are sound challenges, but I think it's a very impressive structure that will serve us well in the interim until the construction site has been set up and finalized. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Swart. Honourable Michalakis.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I just want to ask, during that week's leave period, would it still be possible to submit written questions? I would argue that very much in favor of that, but I just want to inquire whether it would still be possible for us to do that. Thank you.
Honourable Mkalipi.
Thanks, Deputy Speaker. I just want to get clarity. The issue of microphones in the dome. Is it sorted now? Because it's very clumsy when you have to start a meeting. You have to adjourn for 10 minutes, something that needs to be attended before the meeting. So today, as we are going to debate that important debate sponsored by the President of EFF, are we having microphones sorted? Because last time, Deputy Speaker, we even took a very bad decision when you ejected a person, a member in the House, while he was telling you exactly that, in fact, he didn't hear you because of the crisis, and we raised the thing before the meeting as well. I also personally rise on several occasions to say, Deputy Speaker, even your microphone is not audible. Yourself, you're even using 2 microphones to demonstrate to us that there's a problem with the microphones in the dome. So I want to find out if is it sorted now, in order not to repeat what happened that day. Because we don't want to find our situation whereby we are going to eject people not on their doings, but because of the crisis that we have. The second issue I want to find out, Deputy Speaker, on the program. So there are committees that are sitting while there is a plenary. So maybe if you can also be assisted. I know that at some point we took those decisions, like the NYDA, they're supposed to continue while the House is taking place. But if you can also be assisted in order for us to know as whips, in order to assist our members with this committee, got permission from the House Chair because of 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Mtkama, and then Honourable Mthuli.
Just taking a cue from my colleague here, it is important that we sort out the sound because we have lost a member. And in fact, I think that an apology is due to him because he was not able to hear what the presiding officer was saying. And as a result, he was kicked out of the house. That is the one thing. The other thing that will increase the quality of engagement is sorting out the interpretation service. That problem is a perennial problem, and there seems to be no answer to how do we sort this problem out. There must be a commitment that in the next sitting, all the languages, because this really affects the constitutional right of treating all languages with the same respect when members in the House are unable to follow proceedings because the language they speak are not being taken care of. Please, let's sort that matter out as well.
Thank you, Honorable Ntuli.
No, thanks, Deputy Speaker. Good morning to you and good morning to all colleagues. No, firstly, I want to join the two colleagues about the importance of having the sound system properly sorted out. I think that matter was discussed yesterday. But I equally want to invite the two colleagues to join us on the decision we made yesterday as the Chief Whips Forum, that we also have a responsibility to ensure that not just ourselves as whips of various political parties, but that the members of our caucuses also carry themselves in a dignified way. Because the objective reality is that there was a problem with the sound, but also there were certain members who were abusing the fact that there's a problem with the sound and misbehaving. And that is an issue that we raised yesterday in the Chief Whips Forum. And we insisted that we have a responsibility as the whips of various political parties to ensure that our own caucuses carry themselves in a dignified way, so that when there is a problem, the problem is not exaggerated by ill discipline. We deal with the problem, but we also avoid a situation where a tendency of ill discipline creeps in to take advantage of a problem of the sound system. I think it's important that we need to emphasize that so that, because yesterday we had a long discussion on this issue, and perhaps the disadvantage as well is that some of the members who are here today, and I don't blame them for that because there would be reasons why their whips have apologized this morning, were not here when we discussed the matter. But I think now that they are here on behalf of their parties, I think it's important for us to emphasize the commitment we made yesterday as the Chief Whips of political parties, that yes, indeed, the sound must be sorted, it's a problem, but also we need to carry ourselves in a way that is befitting for members of parliament when we're in the plenary. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Ntuli. Honorable Mkalipi.
No, Speaker, you know, if you're a leader, you must take a responsibility because we are not in the dome amongst ourselves only. We are talking to the nation. So therefore, we must do our job. Staff members of parliament must do their job. Political leaders who preside over those staff members must do their job. You can't enter into a meeting whereby you are discussing very important decision of the country and the sound is not working. And now we are told that we must take responsibilities as whips. This is uncalled for. We need to resolve the issue of the sound. If you remember very well, Speaker, after we ejected that member of MK, our member, Mam Kaula, was having the same problem. Until as whips, we waved to her to say, now you can come, you have done with your speech. But honestly, she was not even hearing you when you said your time is up. So you can't come and blame the members in the whippery, sort out the sound in the dome. So I wanted to check in this meeting, is the sound sorted? Because we don't want to find ourselves in the very same situation when we enter there today. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Mkalipi. I'll ask Mr. Kasu about the sound. The other matters in terms of the asking the Honourable Reddy to remove himself from the dome is a matter that is now with the Speaker for further investigation and deliberation and referral to the relevant structures of Parliament. So this committee is not going to discuss that now, but the matter of the sound is very relevant. So I'm going to ask Mr. Kasu to please give us some information in terms of the technicalities of the sound.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the sound, we continue to attend to the issue of the sound. Yesterday it was better than the day before, and the technical staff are attending to the matter, and we believe things will be what is expected today during the sitting. The matter of interpreting was raised yesterday, discussed in the Chief Whip's Forum, and again, we are raising this matter with the relevant structures within Parliament. We don't usually take questions during leave period, Honourable Chief Whip of the DA, and because in terms of the rules during recess, no business like questions is attended to. So that is the position. We can always discuss the matter whether there needs to be a different dispensation on this in terms of the rules. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kasu. There was also a question on committees, and perhaps just Honourable Frolick, if you can refer to that matter, that committee sitting at the same time as a plenary. If I understand the question correct, that there should be some guidance regarding that. Honourable Michalakis, I'll get you now.
No, thank you, Deputy Speaker. No, the only committee that was dealing with an important matter is the one on women, children, and people with disabilities. And it appears in the Z list, but on top of that, we will also send out a communication in case the Z list is not available to everyone, so that the chief whips are aware that there are meetings, but it's really the exception rather than the rule.
Thank you very much. Honourable Michalakis.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. I would very strongly argue in favour of a deviation of the rules for that week. It would ordinarily not have been a constituency week or a leave week. Members do go to their constituencies and do have questions to ask. It's a whole week's questions that we miss. So I would very much like to ask the support of some of the other parties that we continue to be able to submit questions. Obviously, if members are not interested in doing that, they're free to forego that opportunity. But I'm sure that some of my own members would possibly be on oversight and would have questions to ask. Thank you.
Could I just, for clarity, Honourable Tuli, I'll get you now, just in clarity, Honourable Michalakis, so that we understand each other correctly. Are you referring to the specific week that we now have additional and not to the whole recess period?
Not to the whole recess period, just that 1 week that is now converted to a leave week. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Tuli.
No, Chair, I'm sorry, I was on my way out, but in the light of the fact that Honourable Mchalakis says the parties must be engaged on this matter, I want to suggest that we don't conclude the matter here and now, but we're given an opportunity to reflect on it. Because as Mr. Klaso was saying, I have absolutely no problem with us amending some of the convention, but I would want to suggest that it requires a bit of reflection because time is still on our side. Maybe we can finalize it before the next meeting and confirm our positions as different parties. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Tuli. Honourable Michalakis, yes, it seems that there is concurrence on that. So with that then, colleagues, we will proceed. That is in the first term programme with the necessary adjustment on that particular day in terms of the order of proceedings on that particular day. Then we continue to the minutes of the meeting of the 30th of January this year. It has been circulated. Are there any corrections? I don't see any hands for any corrections because I take the minutes as read. Is there a proposer that the minutes be adopted? Honourable Dugmore, seconder. Honourable Garner. And then we go to matters arising. Are there any matters arising? We have dealt with a few of those matters. So anything specifically in addition that you would like to raise?
Deputy Speaker, we circulated information on timelines for processing of legislation. So we circulated that document for members' consideration. Thank you. And sitting arrangements, the matter is receiving attention at the level of the Chief Whips Forum. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are the two matters. Honourable Dugmore.
Chair, I just wondered if there was an update. The minutes do reflect that the Assembly needs to pass a resolution on its membership of the Mediation Committee, and that is processed. I just don't know if yourself or anyone else can indicate whether the parties have now provided the names so that this mediation process can actually start and be concluded.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because that's one outstanding piece of legislation, Mr. Kasu.
Ma'am, only the DA has submitted names so far. So we need names from all the parties that we wrote to. We will resend the request. Thanks.
Thank you. So that is then just a reminder for the different parties to submit the names for the mediation committee. Honourable Sithole.
Thank you very much, Honourable Deputy Chief Whip, Deputy Speaker. First of all, I want to greet all leadership and members and the officials. My Honourable Chairperson is the Honourable Deputy Speaker is the issue of sitting arrangement. Because you see that sitting arrangement actually I hear that the Chief Whip spoke about it yesterday, but it actually disturbing us as the IFP, not as the IFP, because what is happening there, you find that the president is sitting here. Next to him is another political party, and the Chief Whip of the IFP is at the back of those members. So now our proposal is that the Chief Whip and the president must sit together. And then, because even the line of sitting actually is not, you find that the IFP is sitting here at the end, at the beginning is the other members sitting. So now there's that cloud that is happening in the House. Thank you very much, Honourable Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Sithole. This is a matter being dealt with by the Chief Whips Forum. So I'm sure that your Chief Whip will inform you of the progress with the discussions there. So all of those matters are being dealt with. Right, honourable colleagues, no other matters arising. We then proceed with announcements. Mr. Kasu.
Except that the House is sitting at 2 o'clock. There's no other announcement.
And that there will be sound. Oh, that I can't promise.
And that the Chief Whips will take care of their members as well.
Indeed. Honourable Ghana.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. It must also be noted that since we started the 7th term, it's the first time that we did 53 minutes this meeting. Maybe we should continue chairing. Thanks very much, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Ghana.
Delegates
Colleagues, and on that note, this meeting is adjourned and we see each other in the House at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.